So today we are going to create the sunset paper cut project. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is to open up Procreate, tap on the plus sign, choose screen size, and then flip it around to where it's in portrait. And let's go ahead and name it first. Let's tap on the gallery and then tap the word underneath, and we're going to name it sunset. Or let's do paper cut. Either paper cut or sunset is fine. Okay, now let's open it back up, and I'm going to kind of squish the screen a little bit so I can see the whole thing. So the first step we need to do is we need to draw the circle. So we want to make sure that we've chosen the monoline brush and that we are up to about 50% on our brush size, and we want to choose a nice orange color. So make sure that saturation little dot there is up next to it. And then we're going to go in and just draw a circle, hold it in place, and then tap our finger on the screen to make it a circle. And I'm keeping my pencil down to resize it. Now if you've lifted up your pencil, what you can do is tap on the arrow here, and then you can resize it by adjusting the little green, little blue nodules on the end there, and tapping away and dragging your circle into the middle. Okay, our next step is we're going to color drop that orange, and we need to make a sunset type of a sky. So we're going to do that by blending some colors. So touch the layers button there, and we're going to add a layer. And we're going to choose a pinkish color, like a pinkish red color would be nice. About right there, maybe a little redder. And then I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to draw a section right here, and I'm going to fill it in. Then I'm going to choose yellow, and I'm on the same layer. Okay, and I'm going to come here and I'm just going to make a circle there and fill that in. Go back to the layers, and we're going to tap that layer and turn on clipping mask. Okay, now we're going to go up to the adjustments icon up there, and we're going to go down to Gaussian blur, and we're going to choose layer, and then we're going to drag our finger or our stylus across the screen until we get a nice blurry background. I did mine at about 30%. Okay. Tap that icon up there again, the little magic wand, and then we're going to come to our layers, and we're going to blend these two layers together. So we're going to tap on the layer 2 and merge down. Now we're going to create the clouds, and so I have to show you an example of what that looks like before I use the white, of what you need to do for each cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign, and I'm going to tap it and turn on clipping mask. Well, first I'm going to do it without the clipping mask, and then I'm going to choose, I'm just going to choose some random color, okay? So what you'll do is you'll start on the outside, and you're going to draw your clouds coming down, and then you're going to swing around for each cloud and make sure it touches, and then color drop it. Now when the clipping mask is turned on, you won't see that. You will not be able to see what you're drawing around as long as the clipping mask is on. So you always want to make sure just to complete the drawing. So if I turn the clipping mask off, you can see I completed the drawing and I filled it in. All right, I'm going to get rid of this, and now I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to choose white. And the best way to get white, if you're not getting a good white, is just to hold your finger on the screen here, the canvas, and it'll choose the perfect white. So my brush is still at about 50%, and I'm going to come over here from the side, and I'm going to start drawing my clouds, going down towards the bottom. And then I'm going to swing around and connect it back over here on the left. Okay, and go up here and turn on clipping mask. Now I'm going to go back down to layer 1 and I'm going to add a layer, and as you can see the clipping mask is still on because it's underneath that layer 2. So now I'm going to choose a blue color. So I'm going to go up to my color wheel here, go to my blues, and I'm going to choose a nice light blue. And I'm going to come back here and start drawing my clouds, going down all the way across. I'm going to swing back around and connect. Okay? Go back to my layers, go back to layer 1, add a layer. Once again, I can see the clipping mask is turned on. And now I'm going to choose a different color blue. Okay, and I'm going to start from the left this time. I'm going to swing around and rejoin it to the left there. And I've got one more layer to do, so go to layers again, tap on layer 1, clip the plus sign, click the blue, and now I'm going to do a little bit of, let's see, more of a, I don't know how that's going to look. There we go, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. No, that's not too good of a difference there, so I think I'll go a little darker. Okay. And swing around and retouch it there and fill it in. I have decided that I do not like the colors of my clouds, so I'm going to go in and change them by simply making sure that I just touch the layer of the cloud I want to change and go to my, I think I want it kind of a purplish blue color, maybe a little lighter. Let me see how that looks. Maybe a little too blue, maybe a little bit too purplish, I mean. So I'll go a little bit more. Let's see, come down a little bit. Maybe that will work. Yeah, that's a little better. And then I want this layer to be a little darker, a darker blue. Let's try that. Kind of looks better. Maybe go a little bluer. Yep, I like that. And then I'm going to come down, and you can do this before you move on. You can go in and change the colors. Let me see what that looks like. Maybe that color. No, I'm just not finding the colors that I want, so I can play around here for a little bit and then hopefully find what I like. That one's a little better, maybe more bluish. So if I go to blue, all right, that's what I like. Okay, so now that I have my colors chosen, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on my layers and I'm going to turn alpha lock on, and that's where we take our 2 fingers and we swipe across the layer, and that turns on the alpha lock. That means we can only color within that layer. So I'm going to go to my first layer, which is actually this one up here. That's my bottom purplish color cloud. I'm going to tap on the color, hold it, go to the wheel, and I'm going to darken my color just a little bit. Go to my brush, go down to touch-ups, and make sure I have the noise brush chosen. And I'm going to make sure that I'm down to about 20% on my brush. The next step is I'm going to color along the edges ever so slightly, come in, and what I'm doing is I'm adding a shadow, and I'm coloring right along the edge of the cloud. And this is a lot easier if you increase the size of your picture. I'm just going along the white cloud here, putting that shadow in place. And then I'm going to go up the side of the purple, right up the side here. Okay. Now that looks good. Now I'm going to go back to my layers. I'm going to go down to the next color. I'm going to color pick it. Okay. And then reduce it or change it to a little bit darker for the shading. Come back to my picture, and I'm going to add a shadow here and down along the sides, or I should say the curves. And then you want to make sure that you go along that side here. All the way up. Okay. I've got one more to go, and that's right here. I'm going to color pick to make sure I get the right color, and then darken it a little bit. And go in and do like I did before, going around that cloud. And then up the side. Okay, so that is all we're doing today. So save it as a Procreate in your Google Drive, and we'll continue tomorrow.